At the end of the day, you can either be the person who uses hardship as a reason to stop working, as a reason to give up, as a easy way out for your failures, or you can be the person who uses hardship and excuses as a reason why you must win, as a reason why you should work. Your partner broke up with you. Oh, I can't work, or I can't, do this thing because I'm sad because this person left me. Or you go, right, I'm gonna work, I'm gonna be so fueled, I'm gonna be like a raging bull because this person left me. Back in September, maybe October 2023, my girlfriend at the time, we broke up. And basically, I was like, you know what? Probably for the best. It wasn't a very good relationship. But I was like, right, this person, there was like this big camp. And all my friends were going on this camp for like 8 weeks. And so I was like, alright, there's a bunch of people who I'm sort of mad at. I'm mad at life. There was a few times that made me even more mad. But I used that as a reason to work. I was like, 8 weeks. They're gonna come back. I'm gonna be jacked. I'm gonna be this. I'm gonna achieve that. I'm gonna do this work. I'm gonna grow this thing, this channel, that thing. This was right before I started YouTube. This was like I had a crazy stint of working out. I made a bunch of money for my jobs. I just had a great 8 weeks. And I realized at the end of that 8 weeks that I'd forgotten about those people. I didn't really care about them. They never really did anything. They didn't know any of this. That to whole weeks, I was so pissed off, and I was working so hard, being mad, working out at 6. Like I was getting up at 7. I'm now getting up at 5:30, 6:30, working out for like half an hour in my room every day. That was really the start. This was right before I started self-improvement. So I started self-improvement in January. I started working in January. So now we get all the way to October. And I fueled myself for 2 months straight off of this girl leaving me. And off of, a couple of my friends stopped talking to me. I sort of just lost a few people who were close to me at that time. All at school, nothing serious happened, no one died. I just, was a bit pissed off. And that fueled me for 2 whole months. And I realised at the end of that 8 weeks, I didn't really care about any of those people. My life hadn't really actually changed because of them. I just decided to use that as fuel and to become a better person. And here I am now, almost 2 years later, I'm in a much better place. And one of the big reasons was because of the few transformative times in my life over the last couple of years, and that was one of them. One of the first times in my life, this is probably the second, in my whole self-improvement journey, that was probably the second major period of my life where my life changed because I was so mad, I was so pissed off, and it was because of this girl that left me. Friends, some things were happening. This was right before I did online school for a year. This was just before everything started changing. And I'm so grateful for that. I'm so grateful that that happened. I'm so grateful that I stopped talking to those friends. Not because I'm, glad they're not my friends anymore, but because I'm glad that that fueled me. And I know that it happened for a reason. I know that those people probably weren't the best people to be around. And now I can look back at that 2 years later and be like, well, cool. That happened for a good reason. Although at the time I was pissed off, I was mad, like, no, 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 and I was, in this terrible hole, it fueled me so much. And this has happened multiple times. And in the moment, at the time, at the month of that happening, it's terrible. You feel super sad, super mad. You really just, like, you're just angry. You just feel anger all day, every day. But I can look back at that 6 months later, a year later, 2 years later, right? It's now been almost 2 years. I can look back at that time and think, I'm so grateful for that. And that's what you need to do. I want you right now to think of something that happened terrible, but that probably changed your life for the better. Did you lose a partner? Did you have something terrible happen to you? Did you lose one? Whatever it was, some terrible thing that happened to you. That in the moment you thought was like, oh, it's the end of my life. That big, terrible event. And look back at it now. You probably forgot about it. You probably don't even think about it anymore. You probably don't face those challenges. And if you do, they'll be a lot easier to face. You've probably moved on and grown as a person. Be grateful for the hardships. Be grateful for the hard times. And have a great day. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.